Hey, shalom, shalom, mic check, mic check. Alright, shalom. First and foremost, as always, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to our powers. Yahweh Bahashem, Yahushua Bahashem, Rucha HaKodash, and give it up honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone that have taught us this truth that are constantly willing well through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua. A peace, mercy, and blessings to the beloved Akim that are out there pushing this word wholeheartedly in truth and in sincerity, that are not wavering to the left nor to the right, but constantly stand on that straight and narrow, fighting for your crowns in these last days that we are to be living in. Even shalom to the few sisters, the Aquabs that are out there, and even shalom to the Israelite foreigners, those that may look like the other nations, but their seed line is going back into our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. All right. I'm the brother Iraq, coming back with another lesson to the Lord, willing, edifying for the lambs of the Lord, which I do pray this lesson is edifying to the Lord's elect, just going into some news and prophecy. All right, and Salaki, normally I start this live up a little bit earlier, but had a long day, tired as hell, but you know what, it's all good, you know. All right, Thawadi Abba Shema Shah for giving me the spirit just to endure and stay up, just to push play, just to push play, so that way I can, Lord willing, edify the Lord's elect. All right, so a lot's been going on through the spirit, all right, concerning news and prophecy, all right, and there's many more to come, all right, times of evil, as we constantly keep speaking about, all right, and the ones who are bringing this evils is the Heavenly Father and His Son. All right, their names are Yahweh. That's the Heavenly Father. His name means He exists. All right, and His beloved Son name is Yahweh Shai. All right, which means He delivers. Okay, and He's going to come and deliver the elect from the destruction of Babylon. Okay, which, according to prophecy, the ICBM is going to be the last final plague that's going to be sent to destroy this place. All right, so the things that we're seeing with the soft martial law with ICE, all right, people being deleted off the earth, okay, storms and earthquakes and uproars of the people, these are all signs of the end. All right, as we've been saying, the loss of jobs, people losing their livelihoods, all right, these are the beginning of sorrows as the scriptures describe. Okay, matter of fact, let's read this in the book of Amos, the third chapter. All right, this is Amos chapter 3 and verse 4. It says, will a lion roar in the forest when he have no prey? Will a young lion cry of his dens if he have taken nothing? Can a bird fall in a snare upon the earth where no gin is for him? Shall one take up a snare from the earth and have taken nothing at all? Shall a trumpet be blown in the city and the people not be afraid? All right, and what's that trumpet? The trumpet is the prophets. All right, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai set up His prophets to, warn of these disasters, these evils. All right, which means that our people, the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, you have a chance to repent. You have a chance to turn back to the Heavenly Father and His Son before it's too late. All right, because all these things that are happening are scourges for amendments. All right, meaning that the Lord sends forth these situations for people to fear and get right. Okay, so it says, shall there be evil in a city and the Lord have not done it? Surely the Lord power will do nothing, but He revealeth His secrets unto His servants, the prophets. All right, so the things that are happening, that are going on in the world, the Lord puts it in the minds of His elect men to stand up and speak on these things, all right, to bring them out before they even come to pass. Okay, all right, and that's the power of the Lord, to use men on the earth to do His will. Okay, so it says, the lion have roared, who will not fear? The Lord power have spoken, who can but prophesy? All right, so our job is to proclaim this message. All right, whether people like it or not, whether they want to hear for Baal. All right, just like the Heavenly Father told Ezekiel, He told Ezekiel, give them warning from me. Okay, so that's what we're doing. We're giving you warning from the Heavenly Father and His Son. All right, now let's watch this video right here, because see, it ain't gonna be just only men that gets attacked out here. It's gonna be women too. A lot of women are getting ready to be judged in these last days. A lot of women are getting ready to be judged in these last days. Okay, all right. So let's watch this video.
Switch to TurboTax.
Slack, yo. Let this go by. Bear with me, Akim. Like I said, long days, tired, but you know what? It's all good.
Job. Well, there's Emily Pofall tonight with that story.
Outside a group home in Racine, two hooded figures caught on camera, one of them carrying a baseball bat. You don't see what happens next, but you can hear the brutality. That's Gianna Lacey screaming for help.
It replays in my head every time I close my eyes.
On FaceTime from the hospital, she was too emotional to speak on camera, but she tells us she's a caretaker at the group home. She was leaving work just before 7 Thursday morning when she says the two hooded figures, a man and a woman, attacked her.
And they just immediately, knocked me to the ground, swinging the bat, stomping me with their feet.
Lacey says she was trying to protect her stomach. The young mother of two is pregnant with her third child.
She was stating to kill the baby, to get the baby. As a pregnant person, you feel like you're safe and no one's gonna touch you.
Lacey says she recognized the woman as someone who had been stalking her over a relationship dispute. She didn't recognize the man. After some time, the pair ran off. Lacey crawled to safety and called 911.
I never thought anything like this would actually happen to her, especially because she's pregnant. She's a good mother. She's always at work. She's always at home.
Lacey's best friend, Jenna Hunter, lives in Texas and found out about the attack over the phone. She says her friend has a long road to recovery, but the baby is okay.
As soon as you know you're pregnant, your whole world changes. Your child is your everything.
Lacey's loved ones say she's understandably very scared to come back to work here at the group home. Racine police say their violent crimes unit is handling the case now. As of Friday night, they haven't made any arrests. In Racine, Emily Pofall, WISN 12 News.
Yeah, y'all brothers heard. You heard her screaming. All right. And it's going to be a reality out here. A lot of you women think that because you're pretty in the face, you got a nice body on you, the world has told you that, that you deserve everything. A man's supposed to give you everything. Now, we in some times where you got to get yourself right by Yahweh, by Shem Yahushai as well, all right? Because you're going to be made to pray about here, okay? See, the scriptures go into the order, right, which a lot of women don't want to get into order, all right? And that's okay, all right? Because those that don't want to get in order are going to be judged, all right? But we got a covering as a man, and our covering is Yahweh by Shem Yahushai, okay? So what do you think your woman's covering is? Your covering is the man, all right? But Esau put it in your mind to make you believe that you're independent. You carry this masculine energy, thinking that you don't need no man, all right? You could do bad all by yourself, right? And now the Lord is showing you that you definitely need a man out here. You need some type of protection. You need some type of covering, all right? But a lot of you, all right, are out here still on that bullshit, man. Okay, and this is going to be a lot of a woman's judgment that's going to take place, because, see, the Lord doesn't have a respected person, whether it's a man, woman, or a child, all right? So, matter of fact, let me get this real fast, all right? The head, all right, of a woman, all right? Because, you got a lot of women online right now, which is show you that the Spirit of the Lord is moving. All right, because a lot of women online are actually getting at a lot of you women. All right, telling you about yourself. All right, and how you not right. Okay. Let me see. Is this it right here? Yep. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 3. Matter of fact, let's start at verse 1. It says, "But be ye followers of me, even as I also am of a Mashiach. Now I praise you, brethren, that you remember me in all things, and keep the ordinance as I delivered them to you." All right, so the ordinance, okay? All right, which a lot of you women don't like to be in order, okay? Which, according to our customs, man, you would have women that would teach women how to be women. All right, there's a lot of females out here that are biologically, a woman, but by definition, you're not a woman, okay? Because what does it mean to really be a woman? When you look up the word woman, it means to be a female servant, all right? So what are you women supposed to be doing? You women are supposed to be serving the Israelite man, okay? All right, let's keep reading, right? It says, "But I would have you know that the head of every man is a Mashiach, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of a Mashiach is Yahweh." Okay, so the Heavenly Father's Son is his head, right? And Yahweh Shai is our head, right? And we're the Lord's woman. So even as us men, we got to get our minds right, get ourselves right, show obedience to Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai. All right, how much more you woman, man? Okay, all right, and they're already saying 2026 is going to be a hellish ass year for a lot of women out here, okay? And I can see why, all right? Which I got another video to play, okay? But the Lord is bringing down that pride, okay? See, a lot of you women have compassed the man, okay? Esau didn't use that making the government your daddy, okay? Right? And a lot of you women fell for the trap, okay? You pushed the man out the house for these government assistance, all right? And now a lot of these jobs like the DEI and food stamps and all these different Section 8 programs. A lot of you women are getting cut off of this access, okay? And a lot of these jobs, man, that Esau put into this economy, all right? These ain't real jobs to keep this economy afloat, all right? These ain't jobs to innovate and build, all right? A lot of these jobs that Esau put into, allow women to have access to, all right, was just to allow them to surpass a man. But now that Esau don't need you women no more, now you getting cut off, all right? So now you got a lot of women that are now begging online for men to actually, they'll do the 50-50. They'll change their ways, all right? Why is that? They're pleading for help, okay? And all that is, that how that saying goes, the boy who cried wolf. You know what I'm saying? The only reason why a lot of women are crying, is because they know that they don't have access to help, all right? And they need a man to help them, all right? But it's too late. A lot of men don't even want to deal with you funky ass hoes, man, all right? Because of all the shit that you done to men over the years, okay? Put men on child support, take their children away from them, you demasculate these men, okay? You put yourself as an idol above men, right? Men gotta worship you, okay? See, how about Shemel Shah is getting ready to destroy you bitches out here, man? You know what I'm saying? Okay? Rightfully so, because you're too proud, you're too stubborn, all right? And you act like your shit don't stink, all right? But it does, okay? Matter of fact, let's watch this other video as well, because I was checking it out in the news, right? What's going on with the end up, okay? Matter of fact, let's check this one out right here. Cause you women are in trouble. You in trouble. Hold on, give me a second, brothers. Give me a second.
Instead of empowering bureaucrats, we're firing them, and they're going out and getting jobs in the private sector for 2 and 3 times what they were making in government. So they started off hating me when we fired them, and now they love me.
That was President Trump in Davos, Switzerland yesterday, talking about firing federal government workers during his first year in office. Now, one group of people hit hard by those layoffs is black women, apparently. While the country's overall unemployment rate fell to 4.4% in the most recent jobs report, it rose to 7.3% when it came to black women. Jerika Duncan spoke with 2 women who have faced prolonged unemployment to find out what's behind this trend.
I loved my job. I loved it. And it made a difference to people.
But Adrian Birch's job with the Department of Agriculture was eliminated last February.
I started crying because I said, oh my God, I'm losing my job. I'm not prepared. I don't have enough savings.
Yeah, and this nigga looked through. But, all right, the makeup, terrible. Hairdo, terrible, right? But that's the type of woman that she'll look down on a man, all right? Instead of being like the scriptures say, all right? Because the scriptures go into that a woman is supposed to be a pillar, man. You know what I'm saying? To a man. Matter of fact, let me get that as well, all right? In the Apocrypha. All right, but they'll use it. They make more money. They'll use that as a leverage to usurp authority over the man. Okay, which is wicked and entirely going off. Okay, a lot of you women are going off when you try to usurp your authority over the man. Okay, this is Ecclesiasticus chapter 36 and verse 24. It says, "He that getteth a wife beginneth a possession," right? Because that's what a lot of you women believe. You believe that when you get with a man and he becomes your possession. No, you mistakenly wrong. Men are not your possession, goddammit. Okay? You know? A lot of you women need to understand the order of things. The Most High made man, okay, and then the scriptures say that out of Adam he took a rib. Okay? All right, but you know, when you go into the understanding of the rib, meaning that he took somebody out of his nation, the kinsman, okay? All right, a female that was of his own people, okay, to be what? A helpmate, okay? That's what a woman is for, all right? To help the man, all right? And that's what you women are getting ready to come back to learn, that your job is to support, pour into a man, okay? All right, and help him keep going and keep things intact, all right? Which that's where you become a pillar, because you keep the foundation of the household strong. But the scriptures go into that a lot of you women are curses upon your own household, man. Okay, and that's the reason why your children are destroyed. You got a lot of these fucking YNs with their pants off their ass, walking in these Walmarts and, you know, locations with bonnets on their heads, in their pajamas, you know what I'm saying, with Crocs on, looking like a goddamn goofball. Okay, you know, with no life skills, no nothing, man. All right, doing Lord knows what all throughout these streets, terrorizing people for no goddamn reason, man, because of the so-called black man being taken out of the house. All right, you know, that's the problem, because the stability of the home relies within the man. Okay, you know, and now Satan lives in that home. All right, and them children have become defiled and corrupted. All right, and have become what? Another number to be put into Esau's system, all right, to be what? Arrested. They set these systems up to arrest you niggas, man. You know, which is good, because a lot of you niggas deserve to be behind bars, especially a lot of these YNs that's carrying all these different Dracos and guns and all this nonsense, man. But now these niggas are unstable, emotional, all right? What you see about my mama? Eyes all big, they clone Tyrone ass looking cats, man. You know? All right, but again, the woman, she's supposed to be a pillar. All right, let's read that again. It says, "He that getteth a wife beginneth a possession, a help like unto himself, and a pillar of rest." Okay, all right. You know, you got all this, you know, talks about how men working 9 to 5, 12-hour days, come home with no food on the table. This bitch been home all day, you know what I'm saying, and mad that you ain't spend no time with her because you at work. You know, and then when you home, you ain't making no money. She mad because your ass ain't bringing in enough money for the house. When you gonna get off your ass and go get you a job? When this, when that? Okay, you know, giving the Israelite man hell. All right, but when it come down to the so-called white man, all right, they kiss his white ass. Okay, you know, all right, butter him all up. All right, and guess what? You just recently had in the news. You just recently had one of those Edomites that was with an N-dub that just deleted his woman. I think, what was it, on her birthday, you know, or some type of celebration that they was having. Went upstairs because they was arguing, and sent her ass right back to the spiritual realm. All right, you know what I'm saying? But that's what you get. That's what you get for still messing with the serpent, still messing with the devil. Okay, you know. All right. So matter of fact, let me just go back to the video because it ain't done. It's about 4 minutes. All right. Let's hear what they gotta say. I'm trying to pause it.
As Elon Musk took a chainsaw to the federal government, Birch says she felt forced into early retirement at age 54. Today, she says she gets 1/3 of her previous pay.
To get to a point where you made a great salary, you made 6 figures, and to have that ripped from you, and not because you didn't do the job well, is painful.
Pain that was just beginning as Birch started looking for work.
I've applied for, I think, about 35 jobs or so. I've gotten 5 rejections. Most of the other ones, nothing.
Any interviews?
No.
And she's not alone. 41-year-old Audrey Malone lost her corporate job in facilities management about a year ago.
I stopped counting my job applications after I hit like 150 or something like that.
You've applied to over 150? For
I've
150
applied
jobs?
to more than 150 jobs. I just stopped counting at 150. And you look at it and you go, I'm not enough. What's wrong with me? What am I doing wrong?
150 plus job applications she done put in and still not getting no response. All right, but what have we been saying? Okay, through the spirit. All right, the grinding was going to cease. Okay, this society wasn't going to always last forever. You see the petrol dollar is getting ready to crash. Okay, this fiat currency, this belief system is getting ready to be done away with. It's getting ready to change. Everything's getting ready to go digital. All right, this society was never meant for us to stay here for the rest of our remaining lives and bear children here so that they can grow up and be corrupted by the wickedness that goes on here. Okay, you know, we in the time for this place to collapse. All right, but you Israelites out there, you don't want to believe, you don't want to return, you don't want to get yourself in order. Well, guess what? You're gonna feel the pain that Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua is getting ready to bring to this place. All right, matter of fact, let's get this as well. Okay, let's get this as well. All right, 2nd Ezra, chapter 8 and verse 50. Right, it says, "For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride." And right, and a lot of you are proud. You could tell the look on both of their faces that they look like proud in the black so-called black woman. Okay, all right, you know, proud, man. But that's what the Lord is doing. He's lowering the pride of the people. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Just like we said was gonna take place. Eve got her nose up in the air. You know what I'm saying? She looking above you. She look past you. She don't acknowledge you. She don't say hi to you. You know what I'm saying? You gotta talk to me. You know. Now, a lot of men don't even acknowledge your ass. All right. Now you gotta put the effort and go talk to them. Now you gotta chase. Now you gotta go out your way to get what you want. All right. Because a lot of men ain't dealing with a lot of you women's bullshit anymore. Okay. You know. All right. So a lot of you women are losing in these last days because of your foolish pride, man. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, let's get this in the book of what is it? Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 1. Let's read this in Ecclesiastes 12 and 1. It says, "Remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them, while the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain, and the days when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out the windows be darkened." So what we're seeing is the grinding is ceasing. Okay, you know, jobs are getting cut. I think UPS just cut 30,000 more. You got Amazon cutting workers. Okay, you're being replaced. You see, all right, and a lot of those jobs which don't help society out. All right, now you no longer need it because they got AI to fulfill your position. All right, you watch that movie Mercy, which I still got to finish the rest of it. All right, but it showed you how those that trust in this AI and this system. You had the main character who pretty much he's a like a detective or a cop. He supported the whole system of AI judge. Okay, and there's nobody in the courtroom but you and the AI, okay? And you got an hour and 30 minutes to pretty much, as far as I got, to convince the AI that, you're innocent of the crime that you did. So the main character that's in the movie, he got put on trial for allegedly murdering his wife. All right, and everything was interconnected. The cameras, the Ring cameras, and everything, man. You know what I'm saying? Cell phone data. The AI had access to all that. All right, but see that type of situation is going to be for judges, teachers. You know what I'm saying? Blue collar workers. All right, you're just going to be replaced. You see what I'm saying? All right, and then when you're replaced, what they've been telling you, that they want to give you a universal high basic income, so to speak. All right, that's what Elon Musk been throwing out there. You see what I'm saying? And DEI, all right, which definitely was helping out a lot of Edomite women. All right, but guess what? A lot of you black women are getting affected. Okay, but a lot of the jobs that they put into society was just for you women, because a lot of those jobs don't help society be molded or build it up. All right, a lot of jobs that help society be built up is the things like construction worker. Okay, that's what helps the more manly based jobs. All right, which helps societies get built up. And a lot of you women, you don't take on those type of roles. I think one chick, she was going into since I forget. I can't even remember the date. I can't remember the date, but she said from that time up until now, it's been like 100 years. And women been doing the same type of work for over 100 years, expecting things to change. When they've been doing the same thing, but they act like you supposed to worship the ground that they walk on. All right, and you ain't as men, you ain't supposed to worship the ground that these women walk on. All right, that's idolatry. See, a lot of these women are in that Queen of Heaven mindset. All right, but what Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is doing, he's lowering the pride of these women in these last days, man. Okay, all right, by taking away their jobs, their goodies. Okay, the way that they're able to support themselves. Okay, you see what I'm saying? Let's watch a little bit more. I'm gonna play the whole rest of it.
Some economists say the proliferation of artificial intelligence and the elimination of DEI programs have negatively impacted black women. And then there's the cuts to government jobs, where black women are represented at twice the rate as in the private sector. All of it has contributed to the more than 300,000 black women who lost or left their jobs in the first half of 2025.
We almost are like the economic shock absorbers of what's coming to us.
The canary in the coal mine.
That's right.
Harvard economist Anna Gifty Apoku Agyeman. Why should people, not just black women, care about this?
If 7% of your body wasn't working, you wouldn't be able to function. If black women are not able to be full economic participants in our economy shrinks.
Last month, Representative Ayanna Pressley and more than 20 other members of Congress demanded that the Department of Labor take immediate action to address the rising unemployment crisis among black women.
This is an urgent problem.
Ryan Wilson is co-founder and CEO of The Gathering Spot, a private networking group. He's been organizing events in LA, Atlanta, and DC to help connect black women with opportunities.
We have heard already that there are people that are moving through the hiring process that wouldn't have.
But thousands more are still looking.
We're not looking for handouts, but we're like, hey, somebody do something. Speak up for us. And until then, we have to help each other.
That was Sharika Duncan reporting. And to put this in perspective, Gail and Nate, about 69% of black mothers are breadwinners. And Sharika told me something that stood out to her, which was that the economist she talked to who wrote that book says that our economic fates are linked. In other words, the broader population of the United States. What happens to black women or any marginalized group is a sign of things to come, because this is something that we knew when I worked on Wall Street. It's an early warning system for the broader economy that when the workers that are most exposed to inequality or who are destabilized, when they are hit hard by what's happening in our economy, the ripple effects will affect everybody at some point. So Wall Street looks at that number and they pinpoint what's happening to people who are marginalized to make a prediction of what could happen to the rest of us.
I like the analogy that was made in the piece that if over 7% of your body wasn't working, you would not be
Yeah, ain't nobody looking for Keisha no more. All right, ain't nobody looking for the black woman no more. Okay. Nobody want to deal with you. You know what I'm saying? All right, and the Wadi Yahweh Bashim Yahushua for you know, bringing you down, okay? You know, because see, you and Esau was partners, man. You know, all right. But now these Edomites, all right, what they're doing is they're cutting you out. You see, because now they use you to weaponize you against the Israelite man, and now look at you. All right, now it's to the point now where you, like I said, you got a lot of women that's popping up on these social media platforms that are actually speaking bad about you, women, man. Okay, all right, and bringing out beautiful points. Why would men want to date women in 2026? You know, things of that nature. All right, what do you women really bring to the table? All right, a lot of you women are now being put on the spotlight for being totally useless. All right, and that's what a lot of you women are in these last days. Useless. You can't cook. You don't want to, you can't clean. You know, you ain't a loving spirit. You know what I'm saying? All right, everything about you is just me, take, get what you can. All right, and then to hell with the man. You see what I'm saying? But now all that's coming to an end. Now the tables are turning. Now you crying, you know, with these wolf tears, hoping that a man come and rescue you. And a lot of men ain't coming to rescue. All right, and that's just the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Abishai out here, man. Okay, let me get this real fast in Isaiah chapter 32 and verse 1. It says, behold, matter of fact, let me get to the point. Let me go to verse 2. It says, and a man shall be as a hiding place from the winds, and a covert from the tempest, as a rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land. All right, so that covering that you're looking for, okay, is going to come by the ways of a man. Okay, not any ordinary, particularly man, Israelite man that's out here. Okay, because even the scriptures say that a lot of these men out here are going to be like women in that day. All right, but it's going to be an elect man. Okay, a man of Yahweh by Shem Yahushai. That's why now it's time for a lot of you women to even get right by a man of the Lord. Okay, you know, stop being by yourself. Stop being rebellious. Okay, you know, stop being a goddamn scorpion. Okay, and a dragon in your household. Okay, you can't get your way, so you know you want to take out your frustration and antagonize the man so that way he can't focus on his duty. Nah, it's time for all that shit to stop, man. Because your job is to help the Israelite man, especially a man of the Lord, to focus on him doing the work of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, all right, in hopes of what? Deliverance. Because through that man, that's the only way you're going to be able to get the hell up out of Babylon the Great, if the Lord allows you to be saved. You see what I'm saying? All right? But a lot of you women constantly putting hell on a man, okay? All right, with not thinking that there's going to be any type of repercussions, and it is. You're going to be left out here stranded with no help, wondering what the hell to do, okay? And really be a spoil to those that's going to be out here seeking, okay, to take, all right, what the Lord blessed you with, all right? That nice body, okay? That beautiful face. A lot of you women getting ready to find out that's getting ready to be a curse to you, all right, in the type of times that we getting ready to come unto, okay? They're already showing signs with ICE. ICE then, you know, snatched up a woman, took her into the porta potty. You know what I'm saying? They got accounts where ICE is raping women in these facilities. You see what I'm saying? All right, so a lot of that's getting ready to happen in these last days. So a man is going to be your covering. It's going to be your hiding place, all right? Matter of fact, let's jump down to verse 32 because like I was playing that video. I'm sorry, not verse 32, verse, let me see. Verse 9, because like I was playing in that video, the DEI program is cutting a lot of women out of their jobs, and a lot of women are they don't know what to do in these last days. They looking real hopeless right now. Okay, the end of. So this is Isaiah 32 and 9. It says, rise up, you women that are at ease, hear my voice, you careless daughters, give ear unto my speech. Many days and years shall you be troubled, ye careless women, for the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come. Tremble, ye women that are at ease, be troubled, ye careless ones. Strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins. They shall lament for the teats, for the pleasant fields, for the fruitful vine. All right, and that's what's happening. The teats are being you know, taken from you. All right, all these different goodies are being taken from you. All right, now you're being held accountable for the shit that you've been doing all these years, man. Okay, let me see. Yep, let's go. So let's go from there, right? All right, because we in the type of times, man. All right, where you got a lot of women on these social media platforms, and all they're doing is, so like, all they doing is begging and pleading for help. Okay, you know, and ain't nobody feeling sorry for a lot of you women out here. Let's just keep it real. Okay. Matter of fact, let me play this real fast because I like how she was putting it. I was watching her earlier, but she was saying some real ish. Hold on.
We need to work on. And one of them is our selfish perspectives. And what I mean is, when I make videos saying that we need to listen to our men more, appreciate them, cook a little bit more, give them daily BJs or whatever, y'all say stuff like, well, I'm only doing all that for a husband. However, we expect men we're not married to pay all our bills, get our hair and nails did, have chivalry, reassure our emotions and whatnot. And that's the selfish part. We expect men to treat us like wives before marriage, and we're not going to treat them like husbands until after marriage. Another thing that I think we need to work on is using our feminine energy to benefit the relationship more. Let's just say, for instance, he on some bullshit. He arguing, he yelling, he being mean or whatever, right? Instead of doing the same thing back, use your feminine energy. Baby, you ain't got to yell and be mean to me to get your point across. When you calm down and you're ready to talk, I'm here. In the meantime, have you ate? You want some head or anything? Most niggas gonna fold like a lawn chair and apologize. And that also helps prevent future arguments from being so combative because he see you're not confrontational with him. So basically, ladies, any woman can give some ass and fry some chicken, but not every woman can make him coming home feel welcoming, caring, supportive, and make him feel respected and make him feel like his opinions and stuff are valued, okay? Ladies, when it comes to relationships,
Yeah. See, them type of woman is about to be paired up with brothers, man. Them type of woman getting ready to be paired up with brothers, all right? Women that think, you know, somewhat logically, you know what I'm saying? All right, that want to do right, you know what I'm saying? Okay? All right, instead of these proud ass women that, I ain't no pick me, I ain't about to do that, he got to do all this for me, you know, I've been raised better. My mama told me to put myself first. Oh, see, a lot of you getting ready to get stomped out here, you know what I'm saying? All right? Okay? Isaiah chapter 4, verse 1, and in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and we will wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. Okay, so a lot of it's gonna be set. It's gonna be like Apostle Gabar said, man. It's gonna be so much woman out here that you gonna have to beat a bitch off you with a tree branch, man. You know what I'm saying? Because they gonna be wanting to be called by your name, meaning that they gonna want to take on your name by you popping them. Okay, you know that's how many women gonna want to be with you because they gonna sense that. You know, you got a godly aura about you, that you got some type of divinity or what they say divine protection, you know, that the Lord is dealing with you. You know what I'm saying? All right. And the Lord gonna let it be known. Okay. Who are his chosen. All right. Though in a way that only those that are going to be allotted to be saved have access to, because the Lord going to hide us from individuals that are seeking to, take and, murder and things of that nature. He gonna keep us camouflaged, but other individuals that the Lord gonna have help. It's gonna be a special indication to let them know, okay, yeah, this is the man, the Lord. I gotta get myself right with this man, okay, all right. And a lot of you women are running out of time, man. Okay, like I may mention, a lot of women are useless nowadays. Okay, because see, you didn't got caught up in the luxuries of life. Now you just work 2 jobs. You just got children. If it ain't for your mother or your aunties or your cousins or somebody around to watch your children, you wouldn't have nobody to watch your children. Okay, you barely see them. You barely can do anything yourself. Okay, all right, because you're lazy. All you do is go home and sleep, and then talk shit. All right, and then get on social media and act like your life is great. Okay, see that all that's getting ready to come to an end. All that pride that you've been allowed to push out here in the world, that's getting ready to stop. The Lord's getting ready to crush you for your pride, and that's one thing that Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai hates, is a proud individual. Okay, because the scriptures say a shamefaced. Let me get that as well. All right, a shamefaced woman is a pretty much a delight. right? Sirach chapter 26 and 15, it says, a shamefaced and faithful woman is a double grace, and her continent mind cannot be valued. Okay, you see? All right, but it also says, let's go to verse 25. It says, a shameless woman shall be counted as a dog, but she that is shamefaced will fear the Lord. See, so when a woman is shameless, she gonna be counted as a dog. You woman gonna be dogged out here, okay? Because you wanna be in your masculine energy. Don't no man want to deal with no fucking woman in her masculine energy. You know, the type of shit is that you got two. It's like a positive and a positive. If you got magnets, they gon' the polarity, they gonna bounce off each other because they can't connect. So you need a negative and a positive. So when you got women that are in a so-called masculine energy, right, and a man is already masculine, you got two polarities competing, fighting over who gonna wear the pants in a relationship. That's unbalanced. That's why relationships don't work. That's why shit don't go right. And that's why a woman like that, brothers, get the hell away from a bitch like that. You know what I'm saying? Because she draining. She ain't about nothing. All right. And all she gonna do is lead you into a ditch. Because it ain't your job to fix the bitch. It ain't your job to make shit work. It ain't your job to stress over this bitch that ain't shit. You know? You just gotta let them be. Okay? Because at the end of the day, a woman that's shamefaced, she gonna do right at the end of the day, you know, and she gonna be favored and she gonna be loved, right? She gonna be taken care of. But ultimately, she a grace from the Lord. Okay, this is you know what? Let me see. Let's go right here. Yeah, I read that already. Yep, I read that. I'm looking for the other one. Okay, this is what I'm looking for right here. It says, a woman that honoreth her husband shall be judged wise of all, but she that dishonoreth him in her pride shall be counted ungodly of them all, right? You know? All right, and that's a lot of these women that, you know, have that mindset of like it tells you in the book of Sirach, okay? Man, let me get it real fast. Sirach chapter 25. Yeah, Sirach chapter 25 and 13. It says, give me any plague but the plague of the heart, and any wickedness but the wickedness of a woman. A lot of men don't overcome that woman. All right, but if Yahweh B'Shem Shai is with you, you're gonna overcome that woman. And any affliction but the affliction from them that hate me, and any revenge but the revenge of an enemy. There is no head above the head of a serpent, and there is no wrath above the wrath of an enemy. I had rather dwell with a lion and a dragon than to keep house than with a wicked woman. See? All right. See, a lot of these women in a household being dragons and, you know, boasting and loud and proud and, you know, deceitful. Okay. You know, but a man would rather dwell with these beasts than to deal with a type of woman like that. Okay. And the scriptures say that a wicked woman is given to the portion of a wicked man. Okay. You know, right. It says the wickedness of a woman changeth her face, and darkeneth her countenance like sackcloth. Her husband shall sit amongst his neighbor, and when he heareth it shall sigh bitterly. Because see, you know, a lot of these women out here being hoes, man. You know, they getting popped on by every man that they come across, opening their legs. Okay, you know, got 3, 4, 5 baby daddies, right? And then got the nerve to try to shame you. Got the nerve to shame you for not wanting to be with her because she got all these fucking children, man. You know, all right, and then you know, dudes that get with these women, all right, and this bitch is known around the block. Well, the fact that all these niggas done been up in her, they gonna look at you like, I been had that, you know, because this bitch been a hoe. You know what I'm saying? And now she tired of home, and that's what these women do from their 20s. They got this mindset that, you know what, because I had this Northern Kingdom woman. Her mother told her, well, you still in your 20s, don't settle down with him, explore your options, you know. And so she took her mother's advice, and that's why we separated, which was all praise to Yahweh Shem Shah. But that's what these mothers are teaching their children. In your 20s, have fun, explore your options, get experiences, right? Which when you understand, a woman loses her value every time that she get popped by another man. The first man that pop her is the man that she's supposed to stay with for the rest of her life. So a lot of these women out here, they done been with all type of niggas, man. You know? And still adding body counts to themselves with no shame. You know? Wondering why they calling themselves hopeless romantics, because they think that the way that they supposed to live their life and how they run their household is by having control over the men. And it's not. But you're supposed to listen. You're supposed to be submissive. You're supposed to shut the fuck up. You know? All right? Even like the Eve that I played, she had a good mindset to even be like, you know what, even if a man is having a bad day and he snap on a woman, because a man supposed to tell a woman what the fuck to do anyways, you know? And a woman supposed to just listen. Straight up. She supposed to respect what that man got to say, you know? But a lot of these women are taught to have a voice. That's not your power. It's to buck up and rebel and to have this voice, you know, because women have power too, but it's not in that way. Okay, you know, the society then warped your mind to where now you not compatible with men anymore. So the only thing that Yahweh Bashim Shah could do is just burn you with fire, destroy you, delete you off the earth. Okay, because you're not compatible anymore with men. You know, all right. You a walking corpse. You a walking disease. You know what I'm saying? All this different DNA that's been inside these women nowadays, man. That, you know, the studies go into the male DNA stays within a woman for the rest of her life. So a lot of these women are just walking diseases. You see what I'm saying? It's real filthy and demonic and nasty out here. All right? But that's the mindset of just be as you are. Do whatever you want. Okay? You know? Wait till you turn into your 40s and then start trying to settle. By that time, her kwaba is like, and it's all lopsided and her walls is loose. They got that song by Kendrick Lamar, If These Walls Could Talk. You know? If these walls could talk, they'll tell your ass, run. Fuck on, man. You know? You don't want no parts up in here. It's dead bones in here. Dead niggas in here. Okay, so it says Ecclesiasticus chapter 25, verse 18. It says, her husband shall sit amongst neighbors, and when he heareth, it shall sigh bitterly. All wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. Let the portion of a sinner fall upon her, as the climbing up a sanding way is to the feet of the aged, so is a wife full of words to a quiet man. Stumble not at the beauty of a woman, and desire her not for pleasure. Right? And that goes for us. You know, us as Akim out here that sees women. You know, we ain't supposed to be desiring these women for their pleasure. I mean, you know, we men, right? And I said that wrong. We desire women, but you ain't supposed to just desire a woman for the way that they look. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of these bitches look good, but on the inside, you know what I'm saying, bitch is corrupted. You know what I mean? She ain't even worth your time, energy, or effort, you know? Pretty on the outside, but dumb as hell on the inside, you know what I'm saying? Okay? Now, you want a woman that, like the scriptures say, whose mind could be well instructed. You know, a woman that mind could be well instructed. You know, she ain't perfect, but she easier to deal with. She listens, she understands. You know what I'm saying? She has her days, right? But then you look at all the good things and you weigh the balance like, nah, I'm going to keep her, you know what I mean? Because, you know, she holds it down. She handles business with me, you know? All right? So you know how to look at things through the lens of the spirit. But a lot of these women, you don't stumble at them for you let them, you just like how they do you. They just look straight when you walk past them. You do the same thing with them, you know? Like women are now getting the cold shoulder, you know. Men, they might walk up to a man and sit next to him or close by enough just so that way they can try to get his reaction. But now men are just like, all right, like, what do you want? You know what I'm saying? Get your ass away. You know what I mean? Because men don't want to be bothered with you women nowadays, man. You know? You know nothing but trouble. You become a liability out here. A lot of women are liabilities. You see what I'm saying? You know? And you gotta know how to see that for yourself. When a woman is a liability, you know, she brings nothing to, she doesn't want to help, she doesn't want to do anything. You gotta cut her ass off quick, all right? She like a cancer to you, you know? All right, a woman that is loving and nurturing and she brings things to the table and she's helping you out and she's helping you get by, that's the woman you keep, you know? All right? And it's better to take you a 5 or a 6 with a good ass mindset than to take you a so-called dime, you know what I'm saying, that's got fucked up ways, man. You know? But well, we ain't gotta worry about women, you know, it ain't nothing for us to worry about, to be real. And I wasn't even gonna make no lesson about no woman, but the spirit got me just still going. But it's all good. Sometimes spirit be like that. Ecclesiasticus chapter 25, verse 22, it says, a woman, if she maintain her husband, is full of anger, impotence, and much reproach, right? And that's how a lot of women are. You know, when you lose your job, like, you know, this one chick told me, you know, she divorced her husband because he lost his job. And it's like, bitch, won't you help him get another job? You know, it's just a job. Men lose jobs all the time. Help him get another job. You know, you got children by this dude, but that's that, you know, bitterness, that superiority, you know. Now she could look down on him. Now she could tell him to take the trash out, make sure he cook. Matter of fact, take your ass to the laundry, nigga, and laundryman and fold our clothes. You know, women want that power. You know, they want to be the man. So they take those opportunities to psychologically manipulate your mind and make you feel like you ain't shit. You know, all right, and that's why a lot of men, you know, they're remembering a lot of shit that a lot of women done to them. That manipulation, that mind games, that a lot of these men are weak nowadays. They don't have no control of their spirit. All right, a lot of these men are going to come after a lot of these women that have fucked them over, man. You know what I'm saying? All right, and all she had to do is just help him out, help him get back on his feet so they can be good. Show you how dumb women are. You know, selfish. Get him back on his feet so that way y'all can be good. You dummy. You know what I'm saying? So them bills can get paid. You know what I mean? So y'all can do things y'all want to do. Work as a team. But Eve, she done became the enemy. We literally sleeping with the enemy. You gotta keep one eye open with these bitches, man. You know what I'm saying? All right, you gotta watch them. Okay, they agents for Satan, all type of shit. You know, you gotta put a woman in her place fucking quick. All right, none of that soft shit. You gotta let a woman fucking know, bitch, I ain't about that fucking bullshit that you on. You know what I'm saying? You either get your act right, or I'm gonna cut your motherfucking ass off. You know. If you don't like my tone, then you better straighten up. Shit, god damn it. Sometimes you need to let a woman know, okay? Because they don't respect that soft tone. Please, Susan, come on. I love you. Don't you love me? They don't respect that shit. It's like they got the saying in the world, nice guys finish last, okay? And that word nice goes back into being wicked. You know, you gotta have some manliness about yourself. You gotta, you know, usurp your authority. That's why the Most High he put some bass in your voice. You know, all right, use it, okay. You know, it ain't all the time. We ain't gotta be lions or nothing like that. It ain't all the time. You know when she getting out of pocket a little bit. You know, you gotta, you know, let her know. Hold up, you know what I'm saying. But it says a wicked woman abateth the courage, maketh a heavy countenance, see the mind, right? A heavy mind and a wounded heart. A woman that will not comfort her husband in distress, maketh weak hands and feeble knees, see? All right, and that's what a lot of women have done to men. You know, stressed them out, A lot of men be drinking before they get home, sitting in a fucking driveway, you know, like, ah, man, I don't even want to go inside, man. I know this bitch about to say something, you know. Just got off work. He got to spend his last little final peaceful moments in his whip, you know, to gather himself, you know. And if anything, a lot of times with men, you know, you gotta have some business about yourself, you know. It's not really good to always be around your woman like that, you know. So a lot of times when you know you got the woman at the crib, you know, it's good to go to work, but it's also good to have some other hobbies, man. Things that you like, that you're into, to help balance out your mental state, you know. All right, just in case you got to deal with a woman that's getting on your goddamn nerves, maybe you got children with her. Sometimes you got to go and do some type of, you know, recreational activities, man. You know what I'm saying? And come back, you know, later. All right, make her wonder and think about you, you know, instead of you wondering and thinking about her. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Focus on your goals, all right? Because that's where a lot of men mess up. They constantly worry about the woman, all right? Worry about what the fuck she doing instead of worrying about keeping your sanity, all right? Doing what's pleasing to you instead of chasing after her ass. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So it says of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. See, so that's from the beginning. You know, a lot of women don't like that scripture right there, but that's a reality. Who was the one that went off first? Really, it was Eve. All right, Eve got deceived by the serpent. All right, which was an actual man. You know what I'm saying, in the garden, which beguiled her. Okay, and then she brought that philosophy. She brought those wicked ideologies of what the other nations were doing to Adam, and Adam, you know, he ate it up. You know, okay, he ate it up, and then boom, you know, that we all fall. You know, but see, it started with the woman. You know, out of order again. You see, all right. So now what Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is doing, he's bringing all the pride down of all these women in these last days, and now he's starting to put women back accountable for the shit that they doing. He about to put women back in order. You see what I'm saying? All right, and only the woman that's getting ready to get in order is only the small sister, the elect ladies, man. You know, not every woman about to get in order, because a lot of women is getting ready to be destroyed straight up, point blank and period, man. You know, you got the number 7 women to 1 man. All right, so that means that there's going to be a lot of women out here that's going to be husbandless, and there's going to be a lot of women out here that's going to perish. A lot of women out here is going to die, man. All right, straight up, okay, because they ain't right with the Lord. Look at that, 1144. That's the spirit. All right. So it says, give the water no passage, neither a wicked woman liberty to gad abroad. All right. So you know, if you're a father, you got a little Israelite princess, you know, you got to be more hard on your daughter than on your sons, man. You know, because you can't give, you got to teach her right. You know what I'm saying? All right, and that's the thing. All right, a lot of women are I ain't had my daddy in my life, you know. All right, because, well, that's because your mama. That's why you ain't had your daddy in life, because your mama did that. She ran him away, you know, and she told you he wasn't an ain't shit nigga when he tried countless of times to work shit out with her, and then, you know, she used a system to put him on this child support so she could get money. All right, just so that way she can proclaim to the world that she the mama and the daddy. She a single mother household, and you know they got this mindset they want the world to praise them, you know, because I work hard, I take care of my children, and I don't need no man. Okay, a lot of women like that ain't gonna make it, but a lot of you know Israelite women that have their daddy or father in their life, they do better. You know, with the man around, children do better. Not statistic wise. Women do better with their fathers. You could watch that movie with the Williams, or Serena and Venus Williams. You know, all right. Their father was strict. He was you know stern. All right, but look how they turned out. You know, same thing with Michael Jackson and his brothers and Janet Jackson. You know, he was on it. Their father was on him, and they turned out good. You know, when a father's around, the children do better than actually being with the mother. That's statistic wise. All right. A lot of these single mother households, Okay, a lot of information is coming out that a lot of you so-called black women, you ain't the smartest. Okay, you're the worst at raising your children by yourself. You know, all right, and you're a real problem in society. These are statistics that are coming out. Okay, so it says, if she go not as thou wouldest have her, cut her off from thy flesh and give her a bill of divorce and let her go. So brothers can't give women bills of divorce. You know, not for no, it ain't, if you got something decent, like I say, you keep it. You hold on to that because you don't want to go out there and, you don't want to see what's out there, man. All right, it's demonic out there, All right, it's right about now. If you got something decent, you keep it. You hold on to it, man. Especially if she cool, she treating you right. You know what I mean? She helping you out. And she not being too much of an overbearing demon. You deal accordingly. All right, but these women out here that ain't shit, that ain't trying to do right, they ain't trying to get right by you, they ain't trying to change. Don't even waste your breath on them. All right, and that's the thing about Yahweh Shema Bashai. He'll give you signs. He'll give you all those red flags, and they'll be back to back to back when he letting you know, like a chick that you meet and you dealing and you think that she got a mask on, but the Lord expose all that shit. Nah, I can't fuck with you, little mama. You know what I mean? You got too much going on. All right, you ain't trying to get right. Nah, it ain't worth the time or the headache. All right, it ain't worth the liability, man. You know what I'm saying? All right, and Yahweh Shema Rashai is giving us more of a discernment now when it comes down to a lot of these women nowadays. All right, because a lot of them, they trying to be in a soft girl area, but they all full of shit. And the Lord got us seeing through that quick. Okay, but a woman that is, I'm gonna get that real fast. All right, a mind. I think it says a mind that's well instructed. Yep. Ecclesiasticus 26:14. A silent and loving woman is a gift of the Lord, and there is nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed. So if you got a woman that, mind well instructed, all right, then you deal with her, because you don't know what the fuck is out here nowadays, man. You're dealing with fucking gremlins and goblins and demonic spirits, all right, Jezebels and shit like that, man. Woman that's trying to bring you to the bottom. All right, so let me see what else I got.
President Trump is declaring.
Shalakia. I'm not gonna carry this out too much longer. Just a couple of little. Like I said, I wasn't even gonna talk about the women, but yeah, a lot of these women are losing. You know what I'm saying? All right, and we just in those times where, hey, you women better get right as well, because Yahweh Shema Shai getting ready to destroy a lot of you women as well. All right. Let's watch this one right here. Oh no, I'm sorry, that's not it. That's not the one I was looking for. Salakia. All right. Yeah. Yeah, where is that? I know I was looking at one earlier. All right. Shoot, they were saying it's gonna be a bad year for a lot of women out here. That's probably over here. Let me see. Okay, here it is. This one I want right here. Here we go.
So women be having this laundry list of shit, of the things that they require in order to be in a relationship. And I genuinely want to know, what are women bringing to the table? Whether it's tangible or intangible or shit, something that money cannot buy. What are y'all genuinely bringing to the table? Because a lot of y'all are coming to the table with baggage, loudmouth, and extra miles on you. What exactly are you guys bringing to the table? And don't say you can cook. Don't say you can clean. Hell, don't say you can fuck. That's basic shit. That's basic one-on-one relationship marriage shit. What are you guys genuinely bringing to the table that money cannot buy? Because if a man want to get fucked, he can go pay for it. If a man want a house cleaner, he can pay for it. And if a man want a shed, he can go pay for it. What are you bringing to the table besides your handout and baggage? Genuinely, I want to know. So women be having this
straight up, straight up. So I ain't gotta say nothing much more than that. All right. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it right there. Lord's willingness was edifying to the Lord's elect. Just something quick, but it ended up turning into an hour. I ain't, wasn't even expecting to go no hour. I was trying to do like 30 minutes. But Lord's willingness was edifying to the Lord's elect. I'm gonna get out here by giving all praises to our powers. Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kadash. I want to say Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Kwam Yasharala, Abal, may Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai keep blessing all you acting that's out there pushing this word in truth and sincerity, man. We almost up out of here, man. Y'all brothers stay strong. Keep your mind on the prize, man. All right. A lot of these women are losing, all right, and hey, the Lord gonna send, all right, what he sends, all right. A lot of women a lot of these women ain't gonna repent, but you're gonna have the elect woman that's gonna repent, all right. And that's a beautiful thing that women are turning back to Yahweh Shema Shah in the last days, all right. So as for you sisters out there, all right, now's the time to get right by the Lord, all right. Now it's time for you to go and be vulnerable, get you a man of the Lord, okay. You know, don't waste no time, all right. And pray on it. May Yahweh Shema Shah work everything out in your favor. So shalom.